That was a mistake because I'm on COVID. I guess that means we're live.
We're live. The countdown has ended.
But we're still watching this. What are we watching right now?
I assume we're watching some kind of cool 3D print being done. I guess I do know what it is. Do you want to say what it is?
No, go for it. I mean,
so if you've been watching any of the Double Drop Down stream, welcome back. Thanks for doing that. Thanks for watching. Adam has been printing a whole bunch of cool 3D prints for his upcoming nuptials for a cool party. And am I ruining anything?
No,
I feel like
no,
okay.
It's all good.
So and so there's been cool like hands and all sorts of lanterns and stuff. And this is, I think, a cool heart, right? Like a realistic
is an anatomical heart.
Yeah, very realistic.
So everything you're printing right now, like almost everything, is not the actual print.
No, this isn't the print.
This is all just the scaffolding to hold this heart that's about to be printed.
Yeah, because if you think about that, right, like a heart, I mean, it's got to print the bottom of it, and then it has to get bigger, right? So there's at some point it can't print just straight over the top of nothing.
No.
So I watched Adam put in a whole bunch of support structure to make this thing even get it. How can you tell right now that it's not printing the actual?
Well, I looked at the print, number one. But
Sure.
then the second thing is just the way that it's printing that. It's not fully like, I don't know what you'd call that. Let me see here. I want to turn on this little other thing over here. Layer 5. So if we're at layer 5 right now, might as well just go and look at what this print is going to look like.
Because it did look cool.
Well, you know what? I want to try something. Hold on. Can I pull this up? Nope, that just brings the game up. Oh, there you go. You can see it at the top, so we don't have to ruin the first layer. But this is it. We're doing this little heart, and you can see all those little red pieces right there are the support structures.
And how thick will those be? Would that be easy to just sort of break off of it?
Yeah, so one thing that's not really easy to see is if you really look close at it, you'll see that it kind of goes in to the piece, at least in this preview, and there's like chunks going out of it. Well, what this program does is it allows you to put these little support structures, and you can see there's a support structure, and I can just go drop it anywhere I like. Now, if it's going to infinity in the top, I can't drop it. That's why it's gray.
I see.
But then
that
well, I guess it doesn't change color when you put it under it. But right when it touches the edge right there, I can drop it, and I can click it. And so you're just putting as many of them as like in congested as you want, like however you want. But then the program will go through, and so I'll just put even a lot more than I need to right now. And I put a bunch in there, and then when I process it, it's going to turn them into supports, and then it creates the structure that you're seeing printed now.
Will that look different? It'll look different.
Yeah, it's going to look a lot different. See how they're like,
see.
They're, and if we only just pull it down a little bit, we'll go to about here.
Right, because they don't have to be very thick. Because it's like you wouldn't want them to be thick, right?
Yeah, so we're about right here.
And is that just easy enough just to sort of snap off in a way?
You're just gonna yank that sucker off.
Nice.
I mean, it does it fixed to it, and I guess it'd be a little hard to see from this angle, but it doesn't print it into it. It's separated just enough that we'd be able to do that.
How does that help fix the structure though? Like, wouldn't it have to sit on top of it in order for it to be structure for it to print on?
I mean, it's solid enough, and it will still attach to it, and you may still have to do some sanding.
Okay.
Hey, it looks like we got some people in the chat.
Yeah,
so
totally.
What is up?
Yeah. Welcome to the Adam and Ryan show. We have a bunch of stuff to do today. Actually, it's not just heart printing. It's not just ridiculous, anatomically correct, creepy hearts that we're gonna print in solid black.
We don't need any of that right now. We'll revisit that print in a little bit, and it's gonna be sweet because it's anatomical. There's all these little tubes and stuff in it. And
what is that for exactly?
It's a prop.
For fun. Yeah,
it's a prop for the wedding.
Totally.
So that's gonna look sick.
Doesn't need
once
to
we get it all
hold
printed
a
out.
candle or something like that. It's just like a cool.
Well,
thing.
it could. I mean, it could be like all gross and mess up and be all like you ripped it
also
out of
be
somebody.
cool. Yeah,
that would be a pretty cool thing. So
glitch art, 3D glitch art. Why is that not a thing?
Well, you know what? I feel like I need to address something.
Oh yeah, off the top of the show. How you feeling, Adam?
I'm feeling better.
Good.
But I am also very fatigued. So I just got done doing some COVID here.
Yep.
Oh wait, you wanted just the printing? Sorry.
Oh man.
We'll revisit
5
that.
hours. That used to be this stream.
Oh, look at this shot. I didn't even know I had that shot. That wasn't the one I was going to show you though. I'm getting confused. This is a COVID thing that's happened to me. Is that I've one of the things that happened in the middle of it. I was talking to some folks, forgot what I was saying, remembered what I was saying, forgot what I was saying. Ooh. So I had a lot of those symptoms. I lost my smell and my taste for 3 days, which was really sucky. I was eating like pickles or something. And I was like, I do not taste pickles right now.
Oh man, crazy.
And so, anyways, I'm better.
But you're back. You were cleared. You were cleared to go back to work and all of that stuff.
I got that today.
Right? Yeah.
I got the test done. They said I'm good to go. So
great.
That's why this is like
this is the
communications
exactly
that I was able to have. And I also unfortunately gave it to my fiance. So I'm sorry, Heather, but she's recovered as well, and so she's going to be.
I mean, I imagine people who are in close contact with each other, just that's what's going to happen, right? But you're out of the you're out of the.
Hold on, I need to focus this a little bit because we didn't do that beforehand. We're gonna take.
Is it not focused?
Oh, it is now. See, let's take take a smile for everyone. We take little pictures on here. I'm gonna do this slide deck on this of all the times that we've taken pictures throughout the show, which has been really fun.
It's just gonna be zoomed in ones, right?
No, they're not zoomed in. It actually takes that's the zoom in is to be able to focus. So, anyways, I'm over COVID. Yes. It sucks if you get it, and I know that a few of you guys have actually had it too. So,
just start calling them out in the chat, right?
That person, this person, that person.
So
moving along.
So today we had a couple things on the we had to address, of course, what Adam was going through. We're going through the print, right? We're going to talk about another print, my Xbox Crown that has gone through its umpteenth iteration, and I did it. So we're going to talk about why it's not getting printed right now. And hopefully maybe even get some advice from the chat.
I know. We need to call in a Talon for this one.
Exactly.
And I even went as far as to download Kira. I mean,
oh my God, that's how low we've come. Kira.
No, Kira is amazing. I think it could be something that we use. And there has been a debate and so Kira is a slicer program. So we're just in Simplify 3D. Kira is another one.
Yep.
I wanted to see your print in both of those. And there was one issue that we need to address. And so we're going to take a look at that.
Okay, so we'll talk about that. We want to talk Halo series because we both watched episode 2 and we haven't been in the same room, both having watched Halo yet because Adam missed it last time. And then he's watched them in between, and he's talked about it a little bit, but we haven't gotten to
just our hot
bounce.
Takes on it.
Yeah, we can't bounce our ideas off of each other.
Have you? And if you've had it, and you watched it, That's
Ooh.
great because I don't want, there might be some
3.
spoilers.
Oh yeah, and if you've already seen episode 3, don't put spoilers in the chat.
Yeah, because we haven't got to 3. It came out today. It came out actually, and just as a quick hilarious thing is that, so I watched the second one, or the first one, right after you were like, Adam, why didn't you watch it?
Oh,
so I did,
like,
and I was like, okay, that's pretty good. And then the next one, I thought they came out on Wednesdays, right? So I got there and I looked at it on a Wednesday and it didn't come up. And so I was like, son of a... So it was about midnight. I was 12:04. I remember it. I was like, oh, I wonder if it actually released.
Oh, really?
And I was like ready to go to bed. And then like, boop, it came on there. I was like, oh.
Yeah,
so I like laid in bed and watched the entire episode too.
You can have the hottest of takes, right?
Yes.
You're like very first one out of the gate watching it. Nice.
No, so that was really fun. And then, but then 3's out, and I didn't do that this morning. But it sounds like, just at least from the chat, somebody fell asleep. But I don't know if that's an indication of liking
It's
it,
quality,
or you just were really tired there.
Yeah, no, totally. So we're gonna do Halo series. We're also gonna talk about a new OpenAI program that isn't out yet, but they sort of announced it and did a whole press release and website and everything about it just yesterday. And I was watching some stuff about it and I thought it was super cool. And I wanted to share it with Adam. He has no idea what it is. It's a DALL-E 2 OpenAI project. So if you guys want to look at that beforehand. And then finally, we're going to get to the dig.
Yes.
Well, so we took a break from the dig. And so we're like 7 weeks into the dig or whatever, or 7 episodes into the dig of doing this. So we want to finish off the dig. We want to try to like get through the last part of this. Like we're ready to move on to other games. Adam's got a bunch of retro stuff that we want to play. And so we're gonna go through the dig. Adam has a walkthrough or whatever. But what we were hoping to do is get some help from the chat, because not only is the dig one of those ridiculous games where you're trying to just rub things on other things until you finally figure out what the game wants to go ahead. It can be done in not linear order, and so I feel like we have done them way out of order than most
It's very true.
walkthroughs, and so it's even hard for us to figure out like what we're doing. So we need chat in there helping us through. So between now and when we play the dig, I don't know. Get some
insights on it. So there's
the walkthroughs.
There's a lot of walkthroughs that are just text too.
Whoa.
And like I've spent so much time on the dig, and honestly I like it because these are the games that we used to play that I'd never even had access to as a kid.
Yeah.
And so we get to get through those. And we're all about retro and about things that are in the past.
Plus they're
and
like
fun.
cool. It's a cool story, right? And
but it's time to move on, right?
Yes, exactly.
We want to get this, nail this one out, and we need your help. So check out the dig.
There's so many Resident Evil bootlegs to play that we don't have time for this. We don't have time for this. No, so if you missed it, Adam has been last episode of just Adam playing. He was playing through retro Game Boy game Resident Evil on the Game Boy, which never even came out. And
I even have it here. Oh, I do. Check it out. They printed it. This is the Chinese ripoff version.
Yeah. And so it's like
Resident
a cool
Evil.
like beta version of this game that we were through. Yeah, show the lower one. Anyway, if you haven't seen that episode, it was good. I watched it just yesterday, and Adam puts back together a Game Boy Advance and plays illegal bootleg games.
Just to show off, it does.
Oh,
work.
it did. Oh man, it looks even nicer.
And then like just to I think I showed it on the stream. Yeah, it turns on. Like this thing was caked in pop. I couldn't even push the buttons down, and I just took it apart, and fixed it up. Well, now we're good.
What did you clean it with? Was it just like rubbing alcohol?
You got to be a little careful. You don't want to like rub off some of the leads, so use vinegar sometimes to get some of the corrosion away.
Yeah.
Honestly, the game being shoved in there and then it getting all dunked into something was probably really good, because then I was able to have some sort of protection on the
that makes
connections
sense.
there.
So that is cool to see. It was interesting to see the inside of that, and also very similar to what I feel like when I take apart the Nintendo Joy-Cons, which I have taken apart multiple times because of the drift. And same exact thing, buttons, tiny little springs, ridiculous places that they go, trying to look up YouTube videos.
The drift?
The drift on the Joy-Con.
Oh, the drift. Yes, we talked about this.
Yeah, we talked about the drift. Yeah, so I've replaced it multiple times with Chinese knockoff joysticks.
And that's probably your fault there. You did it with cheap stuff.
But I heard even when you get it from Nintendo, they still haven't even fixed it. It's not like if I bought a brand, because I bought brand new ones and they still have a drift. So, anyway.
Well, let's jump into. I heard you get drinks. We didn't do our normal whiskey drinking before this.
Oh yeah,
so I had something special here. I'm excited. What do we got?
Now I feel like it's blowing it up too big. But today I didn't know this until I saw a Jared Polis tweet.
Oh.
That today is International Beer Day.
Oh.
So
fair.
I went and purchased beer for the show. Because normally we just drink Adam's whiskey. Whatever whiskey Adam wants to show off to me.
Or just the well anymore. You
come over too much. You come over too much. So now you just get the well. So I went to the store before I show it.
Uh-oh.
And no, it's not. So I went to the store and I was like, it would be a funny bit to buy the worst beer that I could possibly get. And so I almost did that. I was like, it's almost worth it for the bit, right? But then I found the worst beer that was possibly there. And I was like, well, it would have to be this one. And I was like, God, I don't even want to drink that one.
Well,
it is so bad.
You're not going to even call out the worst beer?
Well,
I think we should keep that in the...
Maybe keep it in my head. So anyway, so what I did get is I was like, I wanted to get a Colorado beer, right?
All right.
I'm going to put this over here. So I got... This beer from Ska Brewing.
Gotta flip it over. You can do it our way.
So it is Red Stripe. Oh, there we go.
Pinstripe
Red Ale from Ska Brewing in Durango, Colorado. And I like ska music. I like
got a
skulls.
skeleton on there. That's
cool.
I
I like the sort of style of these cans, and I like red ale. So I was like, this seems perfect.
Hell yeah!
So cheers, Adam.
Cheers to
International Beer Day. See if these are any good.
The worst beer is clearly insert favorite beer. I'm just kidding. It was delicious. Well, what is that flavor?
It's a red.
What kind is it?
It's
A red?
Red ale.
Is it? Yeah. That was surprisingly smooth. I was expecting like a really hoppy kick to it.
No.
And
I like we had
really
those at had them at Jack Quinn's the other day. I had some red ale.
Yeah, so if you haven't tried Ska Brewing, that's definitely a good one. There's a few other ones I've had that I enjoy as well. So, all right, let's jump into it. Beers.
Let's do it.
Halo. Let's talk about this a little bit. Actually, I have a card that we can look. Our little Halo series here. We're not gonna watch it because it's gonna.
You're gonna get DMCA'd.
Yeah, and we've had that happen on some of our stuff. But this is the Halo. Man, I see. Look I'm like still COVIDed up.
There we go.
So this is the Halo series. If you haven't heard about it, Paramount Plus has developed a series of Halo.
God, so long in the coming. So long coming in to get it. It was such a twisting and turning path. Did you know that Steven Spielberg still has like a credit in this? His name comes up at the end.
Really?
As having, I can't remember what exactly the credit is, but it is still in there, which I cannot believe that Steven Spielberg has had anything to do with this for the last 10 years, probably. Because that's when it was. That's when it was
announced.
Producer
or something?
It could in writing credit maybe because there's something in there that was his.
There's probably a lot of hot takes that have been out there by plenty of reviewers and things like that. But I want to just give the Adam and Ryan take because I've read the reviews and depending on kind of where you sit, it could go one way or another. I feel as though. It almost feels polarized. I don't know if it's that. Do you feel there's a gray area here yet?
So the only thing with that is I feel like people have to have strong opinions one way or the other about Halo. And I feel like that is not the take, right? Everything that I see is like pretty good. Not, misses some things on the lore. Just tries to do some new things. Like I just feel that no one has like this is garbage, right? And I hate this and I'm boycotting this, and then there could be the reaction to that.
Sure.
But there's also not people saying like, oh, this is the greatest video game story ever told, right?
Right.
So everything is kind of like middling in the middle, which I personally feel as well.
That's the take of like the general whole.
Yeah.
So if I like pulled it down in specifically to where I'm at, missed some things in the lore. Yeah, I agree with that comment.
Well,
it's like complete diversion, maybe alternate universe.
To me, I don't care about any of that. Like, for the most part, I want them to make a good sci-fi show that has like trappings of Halo in it, right?
See, and I bet you that's the debatable part, because why even have years of video game and then just like piss it away with not continuing with the lore? I mean, that's an honest question I have.
I guess because my thing is, I don't know if the lore is interesting enough in Halo if you take away the shooty bits, right? And you take away, like, I'm not necessarily like, I think the trapping, or just like the thing of the sort of Halo universe is very cool. Like the look of,
now
the look of everything. You off
just for a second, because just as you Disturbed says that this was alternate universe.
So this is not like canon. Like basically the video, or they won't be talking about this in Halo Infinite 2 or whatever.
No, I don't think so. So I think what you were just saying, was you were capturing. So if you take a universe, it's like almost like what they've done with Star Trek, or done with even like The Witcher. I actually love the Witcher series. So here's my hot take, right? When you watched or played through the original Halo 1, very much about Chief just surviving and kind of getting through, right? And then 2, blowing up, huge story, Covenant comes in, all this other stuff. So the story building over the course of the games, it felt like it got so epic. And then some of the stuff that, honestly, in the games I didn't like. Remember the Gravemind?
Yeah.
And like the big, like...
hey, man, there's so many... Because I do feel like saying... that the Halo storytelling did not make mistakes in the video game is to just black out whole sections of Halo lore, which is not great.
No.
And so and I always feel like, hey, they don't make very good video game movies, right? I went and saw Uncharted. I've seen Uncharted. We went and saw Uncharted, and I don't play Uncharted, but I was like, this sort of seems like a very passable Indiana Jones knockoff, right? And this sort of feels like a very passable sci-fi-y thing, right? Like, I almost, at no point was I even like, Kathy, we should watch this. Because I know that it's not good enough. It's not good enough sci-fi to bring in someone, I don't think, that is just like, oh yeah, I'll watch a kick-ass sci-fi show, right? Like Kathy would watch Firefly, you know. Kathy, it's like they're Battlestar Galactica, weird stuff like Lost or whatever too. Is feels sort of sci-fi, but I don't think there's anything to hold on to in this Halo show that is like it. I almost have no hot takes on it. It just feels like lukewarm.
Well, and I think you're hitting it on the head here. It's like it was like so much build up, and you would expect like Halo is coming out. Sure. Here it is, and then poof, it's like.
But video game stuff are so terrible anyway that I feel like it even just being passable, it feels like a win.
Well, and I think Disturbed and Origami have some good ideas.
Detective Pikachu and Sonic, kids movies, right? Like, so that just came up in the chat, is like, what are good video game movies? And I feel like they've come out more lately because they've just ditched their lore or any of that sort of stuff, and they just made them fun movies in and of themselves.
Well, and so bringing it to like the Halo piece, one of the things that like I feel really did not nail it for me was like their armor. It feels like they just put little plastic helmets on. I don't know if you feeling it, but like the amount of time like yanking it off and running around in their stuff, which is fine. I get it. Yeah. Like you're not going to get the emotive kind of interactions, and you want to build some character development. I get all of the reasons why they take it off. It just feels like it doesn't feel metal and doesn't feel heavy. And it doesn't feel huge, and like those things are missing for me.
I 100% agree. And you know what I've seen multiple times, which has taken me out of it on multiple different occasions, is like doors shutting, or like let's say the door comes down behind somebody.
Okay.
Like where you could just tell it's like a shitty piece of like plywood, because it sort of like comes in at a side and sort of like janks in a little bit, right? Like it doesn't feel like blast doors closing,
$10 million
right?
an episode.
Yeah, exactly.
10 million.
And so I feel like in some ways you could see it on the screen because they do a lot of 3D,
Sure.
right? But in some ways I feel like, wow, they cheaped out on like the sets maybe? Like they spent all their money on the 3D and not on the sets.
And I think they blew their whole load with Covenant, at least thus far in the first episode. I'm really debatable if they're going to have like as cool of moments. That seemed like super fan service.
Yeah.
And like literally I was like, oh god, it's just like the game. And they're like, then it's like whoosh, pull the rug out.
And then
from
it's just
under you.
profits, right? Which are
Yeah.
like easy and sitting in the chair and stuff. What do you think about the lady Covenant woman?
I mean, it's okay. Alternate universe. I could see where they would do that because they're doing this whole special person thing.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
So you want to hear what one
Ooh,
of my thoughts
okay.
are? There's a
Yeah.
couple people, and I got to give Disturbed credit for this because he did throw this out there as a possibility, and I had been thinking about it as well. Is that possibly this person is? Do you want to tell us? Is maybe a Spartan that is no longer a Spartan?
Oh.
Remember,
Do
scars
Spartans need to be like is that the thing? Is them becoming? Is that what makes Master Chief the special one? I don't even know.
I'm not sure.
Lore.
I mean, we
Yeah.
haven't got to that piece of the lore, but if you look in episode 2, there's like, I think there's some scars, or maybe it was in
Oh
one.
well,
but
that's all of them, right? That's all
but
of
the Spartans. But
yeah.
now it showed the person that's in the Covenant, and so the.
Oh, but she has like weird ones. Hers was like a patchwork of something. And was there nudity?
I don't know if there is. I'm gonna go rewatch it.
I heard that you see Master Chief's butt in the 3rd episode.
Ooh,
That
Master
was the-
Chief's booty.
Yeah, Master
Was that really like tight and hard, like a Spartan should be?
like Master Glutes?
All right, well, so hot takes on Halo.
Are you
thus
gonna keep
far.
watching it?
Hell yeah! I mean,
Yeah.
you can't go decades of loving Halo and not watch the Halo
Right.
series, even if you hated it. If I hated every minute of it, I just like quietly
Rag.
sleep and like.
It would be fun to rag on, and
Mystery
and
Science Theater. We should do
yeah.
a Mystery Science Theater run
Ooh.
through of that.
they do those where they just say like, okay, and start the episode, right? And then we start the episode. Have you heard? I mean, like riff
Yeah,
tracks,
we'll
right?
riff
like
track
we'll just
it.
riff tracks it.
So one
That
thing
would be fun. We should
we
do
did
that.
talk about doing, and if you want to see us do this, let us know in the chat. Is like we're thinking of doing a full on Halo 1 through Halo 5 run through on
That's
normal.
ridiculous. You would do like that 20 hours.
Hells
something
yeah,
like that.
all weekend. If you
All
want to
weekend.
see us do it, we will do this for you, but only if you want us to.
Yeah, we were thinking about doing because what is that charity stream where they do that? There's a like
I'm not even sure about how that works.
yeah, so that's a thing they do every year, right? Where they do, and people play for 24 hours straight. They'll play like
Do it.
rock band for 24 hours straight, playing it, and then people just donate money to. So somebody will say it in the chat. Yeah.
All right. I think we need to move on, right? So, whoa. Let's see. Somebody does 74 hours. Still haven't gotten to Halo 3 on my own. I couldn't watch most of it anyway. Okay, so yeah, we got somebody that has to play through every freaking Halo, but then has to read every book to keep in lore. So it's in
Right.
order of how that
Okay.
would go.
Yeah, that
so,
makes
but here's a
sense.
quick anecdote: is that we have done this, Ryan. We've done it to through 4 before. You and I have done the run through 4.
And did
All
we
of them
start...
with Reach in it.
Oh man, nice.
Not ODST though. That was the one thing that I don't think
Right.
we
We
included
were
in
gonna,
the
like,
run. It was like
canonical, like
Spartan
yeah.
run through of releases of games of like anyone that had the Spartan. And so we skipped parts, I think, like because we were doing speed runs. We were trying to
Right.
get it as fast as we possibly can. And I think
Yeah.
it's to the point where if we did something like that, we would be like cranky and be like, all right, take this like coffee right here.
I think it would be fun to try to do it as fast as you can on normal.
Yeah, normal.
Right,
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. On a normal run through, I think we would be really good at that.
Because you would, and especially if you were trying to do it as fast as possible, right? You could be like skipping ahead of things and just grabbing vehicles from behind people and then driving away in them, and I could see that being fun.
Ooh, so we got a question. Did you read the books? So give me your hot takes on Chief's personality in book 3. So honestly, I do have that book. I could go grab it right now, but I don't remember enough
trying to
to
think of,
probably
like-
give you a hot take on that.
I read Reach, I think. Isn't that the main? What is the main? Isn't there like one really popular Halo book? Like one of like the more renowned ones. I think it was Reach. I think it was Reach was sort of the one that even like broke out of Halo stuff, and like non-Halo people were reading it. I think.
Really, that's cool.
And I remember that being interesting because I think it doesn't talk about Master Chief all that much. It like skips around to lots of different people.
So you know what I was just thinking as you were talking about books, and we were like talking about books, is like what got me into Halo was Ender's Game.
Yes, very much. Very. I feel like I didn't read that until you recommended it to me and let me borrow your hardback book of that. And that was great. Same guy who wrote The Dig.
Yes, Orson Scott Card.
Also a gigantic piece of shit.
Yeah, I've heard as well. And I didn't even know that for a long time. But here's my quick anecdote on that, because that was I found that book in a restroom of like a boys' restroom in middle school, and I was like, oh, what's this? And a sweet ass cover. So I judged a book by its cover, and I read the damn thing, and it became one of my favorite books of all time. I don't necessarily like the author, but I do love the book he wrote.
You can enjoy the art.
Hell yeah. Yes, you can. But anyway, so that led me to thinking about things of Halo, and then of course I loved Aliens and all those kind of series, and like all the sci-fi thing, and then so Halo just naturally kind of was that thing that I did. So reading the books and getting into that was really helpful. But so I guess the point of what I was trying to make is when I compare like an Ender's Game to like a Halo book, it's really hard for me to go one-to-one, because I'm like, there's a lot of other science fiction out there that doesn't have to use lore of a video game to get there.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's not good writing. It's just that I like some other stories that maybe are not, out
Did you
there.
read any of those Witcher books?
I actually did, but not all of them. Just the first one, and I actually like the series and the games better.
Yeah,
but we're not going to go off there because I could go on a tangent.
All right,
okay. You get me talking about Witcher. That's not good. But we have some stuff we got to talk about here. 3D print, right? What is happening with your 3D print?
What is happening? Okay, so
calling in Talon on this one because we're going to need your help. We're going to talk about Dolly in just a second.
Yes. So if you've been following along with our 3D printing series of Ryan makes things that are implausible and don't print and don't work in the situation that they're in that series, we've been trying to do like a Halo crown. And the reason I had done it in the original is just that I was like, oh, we have birds at our house. I don't want them landing on there. So we were doing some sort of like spikes around it. But I feel like it made it look like a 90s, pop band, singer, right? With sort of a spiky hair. So I didn't like the look of it necessarily. Plus it didn't print that well.
Right.
And so I was like, I think what the problem with it was it was too thick. It looked like this fat thing on the top of it. I wanted it sort of more slimmed down and sort of sleek, as if it would just like barely fit over the top. And I was like, we can get some thin tolerances probably
and we
in
have
3D printing.
This thing, if you want to grab that, the
yeah.
older
See,
one.
I haven't even seen this because this got printed.
It's somewhat broken too. I tore off some pieces.
So this will be perfect. Do we want to? Oh, okay. Well, I'll show it
up here.
So what this was, right? Put this on top. The problem with that is like I feel like it sort of looks like a Guy Fieri haircut on top of my Xbox. It was supposed to be sort of like stylized flames or something,
Sure.
but I just feel like in practice. And then plus, I feel like all of this is too thick. Like it feels like just a dumb thing sitting on top as opposed to like a cool sleek thing. So I thinned it up quite a bit, and then I just went like, the hell with these flames for the birds. I was going to try to do just my name across the top. So I did my gamer tag Trienemy across the top, and that's what you'll see at the 3D print.
Yeah, and we'll look at that. So Trienemy, it's spelled just like that. So that's what we had. So this print, I think it took maybe 12 hours to get this done. And one of the things that I noticed, and that's fine, whatever, we're learning here. That's what this is all about. But there's a little recess that's in here that I was like, why is that there? What's going on here? So we got disturbed asking about birds. So just to give you a little context on this thing, is Ryan has birds. I just want to tell a little anecdote here.
Sure.
If you call Ryan's house, if you listen to Ryan's voice messages, you will always hear a bird in the fucking background.
It's true. It's like a jungle.
It's like a It's a thing.
And
Like,
it's
how many
also
white birds?
well, and it's also one of those things where you don't hear it after a while, right?
Yeah,
your brain just like goes, that is not important to even understand that is there in the background. It's there all the time, so it just sort of goes off. So the bird thing, we have little cockatiels. My kids have cockatiels. They come and they land on the edge of the Xbox, my original Xbox, because it's warm. You know, it's blowing up warm air. The problem is they just like poop everywhere. I mean, that's just the thing with birds, right? And so they were like, I knew I didn't let them do this, but I knew that they had done it already for the Xbox One. And so I didn't want them to ruin my Xbox Series X. And so I thought, I'll just like put something that's spiky across the top so that they can't like land straight down.
To impale
onto
them.
Yeah. And we had a good laugh with the children, and they were like, great, Dad, you're just going to put spikes there and it's going to kill all the birds. But, so anyway, so then I was like, all right, well, that didn't work. And I wanted to do, like, I thought it could be cool just to have sort of my name written, you know, my gamer tag, like all the way around the edge. That could just be a neat thing. Maybe I could put like some LED lights or something behind it, like some green ones. That could be cool. I don't know.
You know what? And somebody, Talon, of course, already out of the gate has a brilliant way to attack this in a different... We've been printing the entire thing. He's thinking print the base or into pieces and then print these face down, and which makes complete sense. Just these little areas where you can put it in. So then you have
then glue them together.
Yeah, then you have a really solid, nice looking thing. Because in this, and it actually, I don't know if we could see this. Let's go on the desk cam a little bit, but you can see that they're not. It's a little ragged.
Right.
It's
because
definitely
it's trying
ragged.
to print up. Right, as opposed to laying it down, it might be better.
I think this is when I had not calibrated some of the stuff on the printer, and we were just thinking about this and so some of these areas that are missing right now are because these things easily just like kind of popped out, and I oh shit, there's an example of it, and so it snaps out because for whatever reason there's this recess in there, and I think what it is because I did not. This feels like it's way more infill, but for whatever reason, I do not think that it infills in here because I think it truly was just empty. Like it was modeled with
like
that
maybe when
recess in
I
there.
put the two pieces together and joined them or something like that, it cut away the parts that were like combining together.
Yes, so I think
easily could have happened.
Talon is hitting on what I think it is too, because I'm right with you, Talon. Is he's thinking it's a double shell problem or some sort of thing where you're trying to combine the parts. So I'm just gonna jump right into it because I don't want to spend too much time on this. We got a lot of other things to do today. But first off, what program did you model this in?
So I did it in Fusion 3D, which I found to be slightly less or Fusion 360, which I found to be slightly less irritating than I have at previous times. So I rebuilt it from not scratch, but I edited the sketch, right? And sort of tripped it all away, and I didn't want any like bevels around the edges, and so I just made it like that, and then I imported in the SVG and did it that same sort of the same kind of way. Built the base and then put the top.
Let's
on.
drop it in, and first of all, I'm just going to show you, and I don't know what settings does this, but it gives me the warning. So I'm in Simplify right now, just to give you a heads up, and it's saying that, hey, the parts really